Good morning, DMV. I'm Marianne. Welcome to Teen Say. Today, I have the CEO of Drunk Mode, Joshua Anton, with us. Thanks for being here, Josh.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this app. This sounds incredible. I'm going to roll a video real quick, if you don't mind,
Sure,
to see what this is all about,
That sounds
and then we'll
good.
get to it.
All right, awesome.
Hi, I'm Drunk Mode, and I'm your new best friend when you go out. You don't want me to be your new best friend? Well, too bad. You may be wondering, when do we hang out? Oh, Drunk Mode. Shut up, Jimmy. Find My Drunk features a real-time location finder so you know when and where your friends are drinking. You start to invite people over for your pregame, and then, before you know it, your pregame is a boom. Then comes that time when some wise ass says,
Yo, let's go to the bars.
stop calling your ex when you're intoxicated. Didn't work the last 3 times you did it, why would it work now? Yeah, you heard me. I hide your selected block contacts while drunk mode is on. What? Can't remember where you went last night? Why don't you check your breadcrumbs? With the breadcrumbs feature, you're able to trace your steps from the night before. Morning, Jimbo. So download Drunk Mode for your iOS or Android device. Do it now. What? You don't want to hang out with me? Attaboy, Jimbo!
Wow. So was that app out before Hannah Graham disappeared?
No, so actually, kind of the story of Drunk Mode is that I went to Northern Virginia Community College and then transferred to UVA in 2012. I had a girl that I had a huge crush on that drunk dialed me at the block party at UVA.
Oh, no. Did she say good things?
Yeah, you could say that. So it was the classic.
A story to tell there.
Definitely
but we
a
won't
story.
pry.
Definitely a story.
Okay.
And so she had drunk dialed me, and I really wanted to build an app at UVA, and I was like, this is actually a good idea. So let me go and talk to 100 people, and let me see, hey,
Wait, a good idea
for an app.
Oh,
So
drunk people can call you or not call you?
not call you, not drunk dial you.
Okay, so you don't call that crazy ex and say things you shouldn't say, or
Exactly. And so I've
where
never.
the crazy ex doesn't call you,
or just your ex, they don't even have to be crazy in that matter.
Okay.
So it was interesting. So I went into Alderman Library and Clemens Library, and I basically said to about 100 people, hey, would you download an app that stops you from drunk dialing your friends? And 80% of them said, yes, I would, or I have a friend that knows that could use an app like that. And I spent about 7 months trying to figure out how to build an app like Drunk Mode. And we released it in April of 2013, just a fun school project. And in the first week, we got about 700 downloads. In the first 8 months, 10,000 users.
Wow.
And then we made the app free.
They really liked that app.
They really did. And all we did was post in Facebook groups around the country. It was just a naturally viral app. And it was just literally at that time a button that you just turned on and blocked the contact, and it basically hid it from the phone. Drunk Mode now, 2.5 years later, has kind of grown into something that I never would have thought. Where Drunk Mode is now is not what I thought it would be 2.5 years ago. The UVA has an entrepreneurship capstone where you basically kind of take an idea or a project for that class, and they, for 16 weeks, help you develop the idea. And if you want to work on it after college, they basically prepare you for that. And that was why I chose UVA over Georgetown for that specific program.
Wow.
And so Drunk Mode, we started working on a feature in February of 2014 called Find My Drunk. And the teachers had the class vote basically which feature was better. Hotspots, which was something we're building now, and Find My Drunk, which was the ability to make sure you don't lose your friends when you're intoxicated. And there was an incident happened in Charlottesville where a person was hit by a train because they walked off drunkenly. And so it was really sad and just not a great situation. And it had been really recent for people at UVA. And they said, you know what, if that guy had that app, their friends would have been able to walk out of the bar and know, hey, that's where my friend is. Let me go get them before something crazy happens.
I mean, that's crazy, yeah, before he gets hit by a train. Wow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in April of 2014, we had launched that app and that feature in Drunk Mode, and it basically took off. Within 2 months, we went from 10 to 25,000 users. Double.
So that's where it says find my drunk friends.
Yes, exactly.
Find my drunk. Okay.
So And now a year later, we're at about 1 million users. We had about
But that wasn't around when Hannah Graham.
it was around when Hannah Graham actually when before that feature was released in April of 2014.
Okay.
And Hannah Graham that happened in September of 2014. So that app actually had been out, and at that time we had about 50,000 users.
Oh, it's unfortunate she didn't have it, because when we were talking about her and Morgan Harrington, the other unfortunate abduction that happened in Charlottesville, both intoxicated, very sad. Being a mom with teenagers, I'm just like, oh my gosh. So I really like the app for that reason, the safety aspect of it. And I know it's a cool app because you have the hotspot, you have the chat from the hotspot. So I'm going to let you tell us more about that. But how could that have changed? I mean, we talked about the length of time it took for them to start tracking Hannah. Tell us a little about that and what you were saying last night.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't believe that any safety app can really prevent the situation, because there's so many circumstances that can happen to lead up to what happened with Hannah Graham.
Of course.
But there are a lot of things that you can do to reduce that risk. And for us, like, we Find My Drunk Friends, right? If she had her friend on drunk mode, her friend would be able to open up her drunk mode map and say, hey, that's where my friend is. Let's go find them.
And she said she was lost.
Exactly. And even if she had dropped her phone, right? They would have, the time that I think what Jesse Matthews had met with Hannah Graham, that was in the restaurant. He would have dropped the phone in the restaurant, and at least you would have known from her breadcrumbs and her friend seeing where she was that that was the last place she was seen. If you think about that case, it took quite a bit of time to even get to that point. And so we're working with a company in Colorado. The story of this company was a couple. Something had happened, and the wife had slipped and fell, and her kid who was in the stroller basically tipped over, and she was so worried. Like, she luckily picked herself up, and she had slipped on black ice. And her whole reason for building the fabric system was, God forbid something happened to me or my kid, I didn't have anyone I could call. There was no one I could contact, and I don't know what I would have done had I not been able to pick myself up and get my kid to safety and everything like that. And so they built the system where they can work with our breadcrumbs feature, which is how we basically allow users to see exactly where they went last night, sort of 24-hour location history. And if someone went missing in a college town, their breadcrumbs will be pushed to everyone in a 3 to 5 mile radius. And at almost all colleges across the country, we have at least 100 to as much as 2,000 students using us, or about 2.5% to 10% of a university. And so even if you have 100 people getting those breadcrumbs, that 24-hour location, you can reduce the time that someone that basically answers the question, where was this person seen last, instead of 3 days, within 6 to 12 hours. And that time, not saying that could save someone's life.
Well, it could. If they don't kill them right away and they have them.
Exactly. The first 24 hours is really critical. And what we're trying to do is make safety convenient, but also target the demographic that are least likely to download a safety app. We understand that our users drink. We understand that our users go crazy, and that's fine. We're not trying to change that behavior, but we're trying to give them a safety toolkit or a safe mode, essentially.
Yeah, for sure.
For when they need it, that those tools are readily available when they're in that situation, when they're not thinking about safety. But when it happens, they have those systems available. And most safety apps in the market really target the people who are thinking about safety. But there's a wide swath of users who don't think about safety every single night. And that's where we see ourselves kind of solving as a ways for when you go out. Does that make sense?
Yes, for sure. We just did a piece on, we'd like to put a little of this piece in there on college binge drinking. In fact, the Gordy Foundation is at UVA. So I guess UVA generates these great foundations. Unfortunately, though, Gordy's story is from, 9 or 10 years ago, and things haven't changed. People are still binge drinking at college. But yet, we sat with a board that told college students, or told high school students why they shouldn't drink in college and all the horrors and how to get out of drinking and so forth, and they should stand their ground. But we know that the majority, or not the majority, but some, will go and drink at college. Some will even binge drink. And in the binge drinking aspect, I guess we can't help them unless they get lost. Because if they OD on alcohol, they OD on alcohol.
Yeah.
Right? So, but if they get lost, we can find them with Find My Drunk Friends and so forth. So from the data that you've seen, can you tell us how many underage people are using,
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Drunk
gonna
mode.
be just honest and realistic. Like, people are going to drink, right? And at the end of the day, like, we're trying to prevent them from the consequences that could happen when they drink. We can't, unfortunately, prevent alcoholic poisoning,
Yeah.
but we can prevent, people getting home safely for a Find a Ride feature. So with drunk mode, right? I would say about 30 to 40% of our users are easily underage. Even if they're not lying, even if they're saying they're overage on our app, we kind of know from different data that they are. And it's fine. Like, we know this. We don't do anything in our app to actually sell alcohol to people or anything like. We haven't even partnered with alcohol brands at this point.
I think it's great that they're using it, even if they're underage.
I think it
mean,
is, yeah.
the majority of people that are drinking are under 21.
Yeah, and juniors and seniors in high school and first and second years of college. And these people
And
are
then they
most
kind of grow
vulnerable.
up, and then they've just hit drinking age.
Yeah, and then they still use it for the safety components. They grew up with drunk mode, but they're not. There's like those people, the people who are juniors and senior year of high school, right? The people who are going to beach week, the first and second years who are going to spring break and their first semester, and they binge drink, but they don't know how to handle themselves. Those are the people who are most at risk, right? Those are the people who are not going to use a traditional safety app, and I would say that's about 1 in 4
Right.
college students, right? And easily 1 in 4 high school students, at least 25%, if not a little bit more, right? I'd like to say maybe 40, right? But here's the deal, right? Think of the times, if you can prevent someone from losing their friend and enable their friends to keep them safe, you prevent a good amount of situations that may put your kid at risk as a parent. If you can basically find a ride by catching an Uber directly to a friend, or being able to catch a ride home, right, via our app, and having it really simple where you don't even have to think about it, you just click 3 buttons and that location plugs in the Uber, that prevents you from drunk driving, right? That reduces the convenience, right, for you to not drive your car and to drive and to take an Uber home, right? And finally, with our
So
Fabric,
MAD should love those facts.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then with our Fabric system, they and we're partnering with other safety partners too, but specifically with Fabric, right? They allow us to get a really cool technology that's integrated into drunk mode, a traditional party app, where someone goes missing, the really crazy consequences, their breadcrumbs gets pushed to everyone in a 3 to 5 mile radius that has drunk mode, and we already have over 1 million folks who have installed it. And also with Fabric, we're releasing a feature called Home Base, so it will actually passively alert you when your friends get home safely, right? And those features are releasing in December. And
Great.
that's how I think that's for the target market that we're targeting, right? The people who do binge drink, the people that Mothers Against Drunk Driving are trying to talk to. Telling them not to do something isn't going to help the situation. Sometimes they're going to have to learn on their own. I'm 24. I've been through the School of Hard Knocks. Most of our team, right, it's between the 20 and 24 year old age. We know because we are in college or have been in college just a year or two ago. And so by giving them the tools, a safe mode, a safety toolkit to be safe, well, you're not telling them to be safe. Actually, you're selling an app called Drunk Mode, and they're just kind of using it for those purposes, whether directly or indirectly. You're in some ways just preventing the type of situation that could happen if someone does binge drink. And it's a different way. It's being a preventative. I think the UK Telegraph called us a condom for your phone. And I think that's a really accurate way of saying it. We're not saying, just like a condom, we're not saying don't have sex. We know it's going to happen. Just like in high schools, they said they go and do the sex education classes. But we know people are going to do it. We just want to prevent people from the consequences that could happen if you're not thinking about what the consequences are.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes. And I mean, Hannah Graham's name is just all over the place in Virginia. And I have to say, there's a lot of moms, unfortunately, that use her name and say, don't get lost tonight, please. We want to know where you are. So I know that I don't want to tell my children to go out and drink, but if they're going to drink, I definitely want them to be safe. So I agree. Wow. Yeah, I'm just, it's amazing. So tell us about the cool part of the app, the hotspot.
Yeah, so, and I probably should explain kind of what our app does, right? So
Yeah.
it does 4 things presently. It stops you from drunk dialing your friends, where you basically, it gives you math questions when you're drunk to unlock a contact. So you don't contact your ex-girlfriend or your ex-boyfriend or your boss or maybe even your parents when you're drunk, right?
Okay.
We allow you to
Well, parents want you to contact them, but go ahead.
Sure. You can still call emergency numbers and stuff like that.
Okay.
Find My Drunk, so you basically mutually add your friends that want to be tracked. So it could be your parents. We actually have 13, about 1 in 8 users are over 26, and they are parents basically, where the kid has communicated, right, with their parent that, hey, I want you to keep track of me to make sure I'm safe.
Right.
And they've added their parents on drunk mode.
Right, makes sense.
Breadcrumbs, similar to,
Hansel and Gretel.
Hansel and Gretel, right?
Leave our little trail.
Exactly. So, back in the, fairy tale where they leave their trail of breadcrumbs throughout the forest, similar to when you go out, we show you exactly where you went last night and what time you were at a place. So if you lose your keys or your wallet, basically, we, stop you, we allow you to see where you went last night. And then we also allow you to find a ride home, where we allow you to catch an Uber or directly to your friend or get walking directions to pick up your friend. So basically, you can keep your friend safe. In December, we're launching 2 features.
And I know that's become, not to interrupt you, Josh,
of
but that
course.
has become very important to a lot of sororities.
Mm-hmm.
They have the DDs, they have, and they make sure that they have a schedule for DDs. So I'm sure they could put the DDs are friends, so they'll be on the Find My Drunk Friends.
A good amount of our user base right now is Greek life.
Okay.
Like many organizations have used, especially, so 1 in 4 of our users use Find My Drunk. So about 25%, which is pretty accurate to our
Yeah.
user base. And a majority of them are organizations. So, people from Sigma Chi, Delta Theta, Alpha Phi. We have reps that are actually part of those sororities and fraternities that use us all the time. They've added their entire fraternity sorority on there, and they use that to keep their friends safe, but they also use it to see where their friends are when they're out partying. And that kind of leads into hotspots where you're going to be able to see how busy an area is before you ever arrive, and that's
So we
really
don't go to a dead party. We go
Exactly.
to the hot spot. How does that work?
So based on user data, we anonymize everything. We just want to basically see, hey, where are the hottest parties happening? And we know the people who download drunk mode are the ones who basically turn up or party the most, right? So at the end of the day, we basically showcase that information to our users where we just say, hey, it's really red here, this heat map. So you should go to the corner at UVA, right? And that's that's users. We've already started testing this at UVA, where we have about 5% of the 5% of the college using us. And it's a pretty popular feature there.
Well, I imagine so.
And then we have our fabric technology
Wait,
features.
with that,
Sure.
sorry, are they able to chat back and forth?
So with the hotspots feature, and this will be unlocked for everyone over spring break, you'll be able to chat with everyone in the hotspot, where you can basically, so we've actually geofenced every single university based on our reps. So at UVA, for example, you have the corner, you have JPA, you have Preston, you have Grandmark Apartments, Rugby Road, which would be the fraternity row for our university, and downtown. And so everyone who's in that geofence, you have to be there. You can actually chat with everyone else who's on drunk mode at the time as well. And so you can just take a picture or text like, hey, this party over at Trinity is awesome, you guys should go. And everyone in a hotspot will get that push in that chat to basically chat with other folks.
So now I know some people are going to say, is that safe though? Can you have, I guess you have data with everybody that downloads the app?
No. So we don't showcase any public profiles. It's all just a heat map. If anyone chats, people can add them as a friend on drunk mode in a university.
So they have to be friends.
They have to be friends to see people. So like the easiest way to explain it, think of bubbles in a map.
Okay.
Each hotspot has bubbles, so each of them are correlated between red, yellow, and blue. So
Okay.
red is basically the busiest areas,
Yeah.
and blue are the dead areas.
We don't want to go there.
Yes, exactly. But when you click those bubbles, you don't see anyone who's in that hotspot. It's just basically showing anyone who's chatting, and that's where you can basically talk to people. Think of like a message board, right?
Okay.
But you don't see where they are. You just see that they've chatted in that hotspot.
Okay.
Protecting our users and making sure they stay safe, but also helping them find the next party is really, really important. I don't know if you used the Waze app, but we consider ourselves kind of as a Waze for when you go out. Similar to the Waze app where we help you find the best traffic, right? With drunk mode, we stop you from doing regrettable mistakes. We keep you safe. And finally, we allow you to find the best party. The 3 things that you need when you go out at night.
That's true. If you're a college student, for sure.
Exactly.
If you're a mom, no.
Exactly. So, our base of users is between 17 to 26, and that's our big demographic we target.
Wow, Josh, thank you. Keep up the great work. I understand right before spring break, you're coming out with
Yeah, so we're fully launching hotspots for everyone to be available over spring break. We already have about
Also Fabric?
Fabric is actually coming out in December.
Oh,
Along with
December.
Fiber Ed.
Okay.
So
Have to get my facts straight.
no, it's no worries, no worries. This hasn't been I guess publicized heavily either. We're still making sure we're doing beta testing.
So
and safety.
Fabrics will get us our Uber rides home,
Uber rides
our
home.
walking distance home, and then the hotspots will tell us where to go.
Where to go, exactly.
Find that red spot, right?
Exactly. So you can click an area on UVA and basically be able to see that it's really busy at the corner. So that's where I should go party.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. This
You're
is
welcome.
great. And
Thank you.
keep up the great work for Drunk Mode.
Thank you.
You
Thank you.
UVA students are amazing, just amazing. And I have to add, I love how the alumni takes care of the new entrepreneurs coming out. And, we have friends that they only go to UVA students that are out in the world. Like, oh, he graduated from UVA, he's going to be my next doctor.
No, it's
great.
true. UVA has been amazing. We would not be able to
Brilliant.
run Drunk Mode and build it out had it not been for the support UVA has given us.
That's great. Well, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
being
You too.
here.
I appreciate the time. and
Yeah,
thank
we
you for
look
having me.
forward to having you come back and join us. We're hoping to get not Hannah Graham, Morgan Harrington's parents here. They have that foundation, Save the Next Girl, and we'd love to talk to her and have you come back and talk to them as well. And hopefully the two shall meet.
Definitely, I would love that, and I'm just happy to be able to make a difference a little bit. And
Yeah,
thank
a
you.
lot. Thank you so much, Josh, from all the parents out there.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And you teens, be safe. Till the next time.
So, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care.